Mazda's got 4 different SUVs and crossovers in their new car lineup right now, although it might seem like there are even more when you see them all out on the road, and it can be a little overwhelming how similar they appear to be.
And that's why we're here, because we have the data and the expertise and critically the hands-on experience with these vehicles to help you really understand the difference and decide which Mazda is best for your lifestyle.
If that sounds useful to you, please make sure that you're subscribed to this channel because we've got a full library of video reviews and more coming soon. We promise to try to make them as fun as possible.
So much fun, so much fun. So today we have a 2023 Mazda CX-30, and behind me, this red one is a 2023 Mazda CX-50. Now they're both premium plus models and they both have Mazda's turbocharged engine, so it really is an apples to apples comparison.
Now you're probably already aware that the difference comes down to more than just size and price. The CX-50 is really Mazda's lifestyle play, so that's going after shoppers who are interested in things like Jeeps and Subarus.
And the CX-30 is a little more of a run-of-the-mill crossover, but it's still a Mazda, so it still has that upmarket feel that we've come to expect from the brand.
To the untrained eye, these might appear to be 2 different sizes of the same thing, but actually the styling says a lot about these 2 crossovers' individual characteristics. That's where the trained eye comes in. So Matt, what jumps out at you?
I totally agree, and thankfully I have a trained eye, so I can tell this one's red.
Excellent observation, thank you.
They do both have a lot of black cladding around the wheel well, this plastic here, but it looks a little more fitting on the CX-50.
Agreed.
And some of that just comes down to the rugged styling of this one. So for instance, we have more of a squared off wheel well on this car than we do on this one. And I think that really fits the CX-50's character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole profile of the CX-50 really seems like it conveys more strength, whereas the CX-30, this is sleeker. It's got the raked windshield, it's got the narrowing front end almost coming to a point. It's more car-like.
And that continues at the front too, where we have this silver trim underlining the long and lean headlights and surrounding Mazda's shield-shaped grille. It really looks more of what you'd find on a Mazda 3.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely see that. Whereas the CX-50, we've got the bigger headlights. They flow right into this darker, blockier grille. We've got the super obvious air intakes here and the skid plate. It's all really designed to give us a sense of toughness and capability.
I 100% agree with that as well, but I think we're both thinking it.
Who's going to be the one to say it?
Let's go driving. I said it first.
Told you this would be fun.
The idea is that these are supposed to be different, right? Well, the CX-30 might be a little more comfortable on-road, but the CX-50 definitely has the chops off-road.
So let's get on-road because that's really where both of these vehicles are going to get most of their action.
Yeah, now, other than the all-new Mazda CX-90, which is on sale and you can shop for on CarGurus.com, so go check that out, every other Mazda crossover, the 30, the 50, the CX-5, you can get all of those with this same powertrain we have today. It is a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it's pretty great.
So Matt, how does that 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque feel from behind the wheel of the CX-50?
It's excellent. First off, you can actually get a little extra horsepower if you go with premium fuel, but even on regular fuel, the acceleration is nice and smooth. There's no turbo lag. Compared with a lot of other crossovers in its class, well, it just outclasses them.
So it feels like a good amount of power for the size?
Yes, and in fact, notably, it's a fair bit more power than you'd get in a Toyota RAV4 or a Kia Sportage or a Honda CR-V, all of which are roughly the same size as this CX-50.
True, and also notably, it's the same amount of power that you get in this, the CX-30, which is 300 pounds lighter. So it's a lot more horsepower than you're going to get in a CX-30's competitor, like maybe a Nissan Kicks or a Honda HR-V.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that perhaps unlike a Nissan Kicks, that CX-30 is pretty zippy?
Yeah, I'd say so. Zoom, zoom, right? So, as one of our coworkers said, actually, I'm just going to go ahead and quote him, you could say that this is the most understated hot hatch you can buy.
The most understated hot hatch you can buy. You know, I think Mazda would probably like hearing that. Who said that?
It was Kyle.
Kyle from engineering?
That's right, Kyle from engineering. Not all editorial folks here at CarGurus. We've got car experts in every department.
Yes, we do.
So we've talked about specs. For example, powertrain, same specs, but they kind of come out to be different in application. What about specs that are actually different, like capability, for example, Matt?
Okay, so Mazda CX-50 can tow up to 3,500 pounds, which, I mean, that's enough for a couple of motorcycles or snowmobiles. It's enough towing capability that you could pull a horse trailer with 2 horses in it.
Aha, yes. For this, you could get, a roof rack and crossbars, so you're good if you want to bring a couple of bikes or a couple of kayaks with you. But the CX-30 is definitely not rated for towing. In fact, Mazda is very clear about that in the manual.
Yeah, if you want an adventure vehicle, you definitely want to be looking at the CX-50, not the CX-30. In addition to sport and normal drive modes, this one also has an off-road mode that's designed to adapt to variable surfaces and terrains.
Whereas the CX-30 just has sport mode. And then the CX-50 also has extra ground clearance, 8.6 inches, which is better for off-roading, gives you better approach and departure angles. So Matt, how would you say that extra ruggedness affects the ride?
Actually, it's really not bad. I mean, it maybe is a little stiff. That could be because we're riding on 20-inch wheels in the CX-50 as opposed to 18-inch wheels in the CX-30. But especially compared to other off-road oriented crossovers, like say the Subaru Forester Wilderness, this one drives really, really well.
So if these both offer pretty nice driving dynamics, then it's really a question of what kind of fun you're looking for. Do you want that pep on the road, or do you want to be able to get off-road more comfortably?
Yeah, and I would say that pretty much sums it up. So let's see how the other elements of ownership really stack up with these 2 crossovers.
All right, here's something that I don't like about the CX-30. Listen.
Oh, no. That's not right.
Right? Now, I haven't spent time with the CX-50 as recently as you have. Does that do that too?
No, the CX-50's door sounds like a door.
Okay, and this sounds like if you're in a school play and someone off stage is shaking a piece of sheet metal to make it sound like a thunderstorm.
That is exactly what it sounds like.
Not confidence inspiring, right?
No, I 100% agree. But both of these are IIHS top safety picks, and in fact, despite the wonky door, the CX-30 actually outperforms the CX-50 in the side impact crash test. This
side impact
got a good, it's the highest possible rating. This just got acceptable.
Okay, true. And actually, the CX-30, to be fair, also outscored the CX-50 on headlights.
Right.
Largely because the IIHS didn't like all of the versions of the low beams that you can get with the CX-50. But have to point out, the CX-30 was not rated at all for seatbelt reminders or for nighttime vehicle-to-pedestrian front crash prevention, presumably because it just doesn't have all the features that the CX-50 does.
Yeah, but they do both have a lot of safety features. You get lane keeping assist, lane departure warning, adaptive cruise control, a driver attention monitor, and smart brake support as standard. And if you get the CX-50, you also get blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert as standard equipment. You don't get those on the base trim of the CX-30.
True.
Now, if you want traffic jam assist, you have to pay for the top trim in both cars.
That is true. So, ready to talk about interior?
Yes, I am. So who should sit in the front? Who should sit in the back?
Well, let's be real. It's kind of hard to tell about headroom and legroom.
Okay, yeah, no, I know where this is going, so I'll just get in the back.
Okay, here we go. It's true. Both the CX-30 and the CX-50 have 41.7 inches of legroom in the front row.
Yes, but in the CX-50, I would have an additional 3 inches of legroom, and I could really stretch out back here.
That's true. Is it really cramped?
Well, you're 5'2".
I seem taller in person.
And so behind your seating position, I'm doing fine. But I'm 5'11", and I seem shorter in person. And behind my seating position, I really wouldn't have much space at all. Luckily, there is no panoramic sunroof in this car like there is in the CX-50, and that actually gives me a little extra headroom.
That's true. So if you, as a shopper, know that you're going to be getting the sunroof, be aware that you'll have more rear seat headroom with the CX-30 because the sunroof stops right here.
In the CX-50, you also get 2 USB ports for the backseat passengers. They're down here on the back of the center console.
And the CX-30 does not afford that luxury to the backseat, although they do both have the dual zone climate control and the vents for the backseat passengers.
Yeah. Both cars have a 7-inch driver information display and an 8.8-inch infotainment screen that runs Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, and then it runs Mazda Connect as its native software.
Yes, and then this one has the 12-speaker Bose premium sound system. That's because this is the premium package and the turbocharged engine. In the CX-50, you don't have any engine requirements to upgrade from the 8-speaker standard sound system. You just have to get the premium package.
Yeah, and ultimately, I mean, there's a lot to like about both cars. The CX-50 is super impressive, but I like the cleanliness of this design, and I've always liked how Mazda uses this white leather interior in some of their cars. I just think it looks really classy.
It does look classy. For me, I feel like this is just a little bit boring. I like the leather quality in the CX-50 better too, and that smell that it has and the feel. I don't love the stitching, that cross stitching. It's like a little Western or something, and I'm not a huge fan.
This is what I've been trying to tell people. Contrast stitching is a fad, all right? Some people love it.
I love a good contrast stitch.
Like Elliot, the cameraman likes it, but Elliot is wrong. And the rest of us are just ready to move past the gaudy contrast stitching you see in so many cars these days.
Hot take from Matt. That's what we're here for. Onto the front seats, they do both have 8-way power adjustable driver's seats and heated front seats for all but the lowest 2 trims. So, ready for another Matt opinion. Which one wins on backseat comfort?
Well, surprise, it's the one with more legroom. So Mazda CX-30, it's nice enough in here, but you get a little more features. You get those USB ports, you have the panoramic moonroof in the CX-50, but critically, you have more space. And given that I would like a little more space, I think it's time to get out and check out cargo space.
Let's do it.
So, if you want a power liftgate, you have to get at least the premium trim on the CX-30, but on the CX-50, it comes standard on the preferred trim and up. And then once the liftgate does open, you'll find there's a lot more cargo space in this car than there is in that one, about 11 cubic feet more.
Yes, so to put that into context, the cargo space in the CX-50 is pretty much in line with, say, the Subaru Crosstrek or the new Honda HR-V. CX-30's cargo space is more like the Hyundai Kona or the Mini Countryman, and it's even a little bit less than what you're going to get in the Mazda 3 hatchback with the rear seats folded down.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really not great news for either of them. These are pretty small cars for their segments. I mean, this shouldn't be competing against subcompact crossovers, and it's not a good thing when you're comparing a subcompact crossover with the cargo space of a hatchback.
The 2023 Mazda CX-30 starts at $22,950 with the base powertrain, $33,890 if you want the turbo.
I do. I want the turbo.
Matt wants the turbo. And then the Mazda CX-50 for 2023 starts at $26,800, $36,400 if, like Matt, you want the turbo.
Yes, we have to have the turbo.
Gotta have the turbo. So it's a difference of about $3,000 to $4,000 between comparable trims of the two models.
So, first off, very impressive. A lot of numbers to remember there.
Thank
very
you.
Impressed.
Thank you very much.
You forgot the destination fee, though. It's
Ah.
an extra $12.75 for destination on top of all of those prices.
Teamwork.
Now, what I think we've established, the CX-30 is significantly smaller than the CX-50.
Especially inside.
But what we've also established is that these are both really nice driving cars with really nice interiors, and they just have a little bit of a more upscale feel than you find in some other more mass market models.
The way I see it, the CX-30 is really like a lifted Mazda 3. So if you don't actually need all that extra space that you're gonna get in that, but you're just feeling that mysterious pull towards a crossover, which a lot of Americans seem to feel,
For sure.
then the CX-30 might be a really good choice for you. But if what you're feeling is the call of the wild, you might want to look at the CX-50.
But Natalie, remember, there's also a lot of competition out there, and especially competition that's really going for that call of the wild vibe.
True.
I mean, there's the Forester Wilderness, which we mentioned earlier, and then there's the Jeep Compass Trailhawk.
Check out our recent video on that.
That's right, we have a recent video there. And then the Ford Bronco Sport, and all three of those, I'd venture to say, will take you further off-road than either of these Mazdas can. But what they can't do is offer the style and sophistication that you get from either the CX-30 or the CX-50.
True, that's a Mazda thing. So we hope that this has cleared up for you the differences between these two models and what it would be like to live with either one of them. Let us know in the comments if there are other vehicles that you'd like to see compared.
Yes, and thank you for watching. If you'd like a little more information on either of these, we have single car reviews on the CX-30 and the CX-50, so please subscribe to the channel and check out those other videos.
And check back soon, because we'll be driving something else next week.
Maybe two cars.
Maybe two cars.